Mission Control Houston, now 15 minutes from Discovery's touchdown at Edwards Air Force Base, California. Among the 340,000 or more visitors there are Vice President George Bush, former test pilot Chuck Yeager, and of course NASA Administrator James Fletcher, who were just viewed on NASA Select television. All looking good with Discovery's descent into California. From all indications we've had on the brief bursts of telemetry we've had through a couple of different sites over the Pacific, Discovery is still in communications blackout, but we expect she will leave that condition within about a minute or so. We're now receiving C-band telemetry. Mission Control, touchdown is 13 minutes away, and we're now processing telemetry through the Western Test Range Station. We show Discovery's altitude at 17,999 feet. Her velocity, 12,656 feet per second. She's descending at a rate.
Discovery Houston, with you at Vandenberg.
Nice to hear your voice, loud and clear.
Same to you, loud and clear, Rick. Discovery Houston, energy, ground track, and nav are go.
Roger.
Those call-ups mean Discovery's descent right on target. Her velocity now 10,000 feet per second. She's at an altitude of 168,000 feet, descending at the moment at a rate of 195 feet per second. Discovery is now approaching the California coast, range to the runway about 372 nautical miles. Altitude now 160,000 feet.
Discovery Houston.
Go ahead.
Roger, Rick. We'd like you to put your RHC panel trim switch to inhibit.
Okay, I flipped that by mistake.
That was Mission Control calling up a switch configuration for Commander Rick Out. They're now at an altitude of 150,000 feet. Their velocity 7,700 feet per second, descending at a rate of 175 feet per second. Range to the runway about 250 nautical miles. Discovery not yet over the California coast. Anticipated ground track would place her passage over the California coast just south of Santa Barbara.
Discovery Houston, take tack hands.
Roger, tack in.
That call from Capcom.
I can see Edwards from here, Houston. It sure looks gorgeous.
I'm sure it does, Rick.
Call from Capcom Blaine Hammond to Rick Houck while Discovery is at an altitude of 138,000 feet. Is to take the data from the TACANs, the landing aids, and allow those to be flowed into the Discovery's computers. Reported he could see Edwards from where he was. They have not yet crossed the California coast.
Discovery Houston, request a state vector transfer to the BFS.
Inward.
Now 170 miles, nautical miles from touchdown. They're at an altitude of about 12,000 feet, velocity 5,530 feet per second. Range to the runway 151 nautical miles. Discovery converging on coast crossing out of velocity of 4,900 feet per second. We've now acquired a signal, a video signal from Vandenberg of Discovery as she passes over the California coastline. Discovery at 101,000 feet, velocity 3,700 feet per second, descending at a rate of 230 feet per second. A little under 90 miles from the runway now.
Discovery Houston, take air data to GNC only.
GNC only. We'll go.
Discovery Houston, take air data to nav.
Roger.
Mission Control, those commands increase the fidelity of the tracking aboard Discovery and puts her more precisely on her energy and ground track and heading into the Edwards area. She's now at an altitude of 84,000 feet, moving at a velocity of 2,400 feet per second, descending at a rate of 274 feet per second. About 57 miles to the runway now. Mission Control, Houston, we're now looking at Discovery passing overhead from a camera at Dryden Flight Research Facility. Her energy status is right on the money, which means Discovery is coming right down the exact entry and glide slope that is pre-programmed and preferred. Her velocity now 1,300 feet per second. She's at about 62,000 feet, about 32 miles away from touchdown on runway 17 at Edwards Air Force Base. Discovery is approaching a point where she will intersect the heading alignment circle. She'll be making a left overhead turn. Turn angle is 249 degrees. They'll be shooting for the nominal waypoint on the Edwards 17 runway. That she will touch down about 2,000 feet beyond the runway threshold. Discovery now coming out of 40,000 feet. Velocity 871 feet per second. Verge of intersecting the heading alignment circle. Flight Dynamics Officer reports Discovery is now on the hat. The heading alignment circle. She's making her left overhead turn and looking good.
Discovery Houston, recommend vector transfer to the BFS.
Wilco. And you got a loud squeal at the beginning of that transmission.
Roger, copy.
Okay, that sounds good.
Discovery at 23,000 feet. Her range to touchdown about 9.5 nautical miles. She's moving at 663 feet per second. Now at about 20,000 feet. A little more than midway around her left overhead turn as she lines up for her approach to the Edwards 17 runway on the desert lake bed. Flight Dynamics Officer reports Discovery looking good, rolling on to final. Now at about 14,000 feet, range 8.1 nautical miles.
Discovery Houston, on center line, on glide slope. Winds are calm. Looks real pretty.
At 3,000 feet, Discovery will execute her pre-flare maneuver. She's now at about 6,500 feet, descending at a rate of 180 feet per second. Speed 550 feet per second.
stop.
Roger, wheel stop, Discovery. Welcome back. A great ending to the new beginning.
Thanks a lot.
Mission Control, Houston, the crew now will be engaging in post-landing procedures to safe the orbiter and prepare her for the gotten ready to be towed to the hangar at Dryden. Our unofficial time for main gear touchdown, mission elapsed time. Mission elapsed time 4 days, 1 hour, 0 minutes, 8 seconds. Our unofficial time for nose wheel gear touchdown, 1 day, 4 days, 1 hour, 0 minutes, 18 seconds. And we show wheel stop unofficially at 4 days, 1 hour, 0 minutes, 57 seconds.
Discovery Houston, you have a go for the Ops 9 transition.
Roger.
First people that go out to the orbiter are in protective suits, have their own air breathing system. They do a preliminary analysis, and the assessment at this point is that everything looks pretty good, and they have in fact downgraded so that the next group of people that approach the orbiter will actually be in more or less just normal coveralls. At this point, the remaining vehicles that are part of this approximately 20 vehicle convoy will begin approaching the orbiter. A number of steps have already taken place. A number of the safing activities have been completed. One of those activities being actually positioning the 3 main engines in the back of Discovery to a position that is known as the rain drain position. It accomplishes a couple of things. Number one, it lowers the engine so that rain cannot actually stand in the engine nozzles, but it more importantly positions the engine so that when they take Discovery over to the deservicing area, they would be able to move access stands in place around the back of the orbiter. There'll be a number of vehicles that will approach Discovery now that it is on the runway. One of the primary features that you'll notice would be the umbilical vehicles, which will attach to the left and right sides of the rear of the orbiter. These provide cooling air, which actually circulates through the vehicle, through all of the cavities, and it also provides the cooling. Now that once the orbiter is off of the flash evaporator system, the purge trucks are what actually continues providing cooling to the sensitive electronic components on the Discovery.
Roger.
A view now from the helicopter as we see the orbiter Discovery on runway 17 and the position of a number of the convoy vehicles, still approximately, some of them as far as 1,250 feet away from the orbiter.
Houston, APU hydraulic shutdown is complete.
Roger, we copy. Discovery Houston, we'd like you to select ammonia, Pri-A GPC.
Roger, Pri-A GPC now.
Flight Dynamics Officer reports Discovery looking good, rolling on to final. Now at about 14,000 feet, range 8.1 nautical miles.
Discovery Houston, on center line, on glide slope. Winds are calm. Looks real pretty.
At 3,000 feet, Discovery will execute her pre-flare maneuver. She's now at about 6,500 feet, descending at a rate of 180 feet per second. Speed 550 feet per second. Gear are down. The gear down and locked. The report from Mission Control. Main gear touchdown. Commander Houck now rotating the nose down, standing by for nose gear and touchdown.
Lift.
On the runway 17, here at the Dryden Flight Research Facility, Vice President George Bush has arrived out at the landing site with the Vice President. Commander Rick Houck being greeted by Dick Truly and NASA Administrator Fletcher. Vice President motioning to the crew to get a picture with the Admiral Truly and the NASA Administrator. Commander Houck now taking the Vice President around the nose of Discovery.